Namaste, one and all. Trust you all are doing well. I, Kalyani Pantangi, on behalf of Intelliace Solutions, I'm back again today with our next session of discussion about journey to decarbonization. We learn from you. Now, this is a very interesting, this is going to be a very interesting episode or the session, because in this today's session, we are going to talk to somebody who is very interesting, and she would be the right person to talk about decarbonization. Now, a little bit before I could introduce her completely and hand over the entire discussion to her, I just want to share a little bit about her, what I know and why I like her so much. She is such an amazing lady with so much of energy and very dynamic. Her energy and her dynamic attitude is contagious, and I want more of it. Not only that, her zeal and passion towards decarbonization and climate related activities, as in climate action related activities, is immense. I've known her for almost 2 years now, but in this 2 years, she's done such a commendable job, and she's doing something really amazing that I'm baffled. Now, what is she doing? What exactly is making me praise her so much? And why I look up to her is something we will find out in today's session. And you will get to know how you can seek her support, how you can seek her guidance, and how you too can look up to her through this discussion. So today's guest is none other than Dr. Prachi Jain, or I should even call her Sister Prachi Jain, because she's a part of G100 Mentoring and Motivation. She's a part of Vicky India-Israel Bilateral. Very soon she will be taking her own bilateral wing. And not only that, she's such an amazing human being where I look up to her. So over to Prachi, and please introduce yourself.
First of all, namaste, and thank you so much, Kalyani ma'am, for giving me that kind of an introduction. It's so flattering. Now I'm thinking as to where do I need to start, and actually, have I done that much or not? Well, good evening, everyone. I am Dr. Prachi Jain, and I am a sustainable consultant and a strategist integrating the regulatory mechanism into the business practices. I have done my PhD from Swiss School of Business Management, Geneva, Switzerland, wherein I have taken up a subject called as climate change and sustainable development. And I focused on the industry, which was the global fashion industry, since it is the third most polluting industry in the world after the livestock and the transportation industries, respectively. After that, I have also pursued law. Why I did so was I wanted to amalgamate the climate change and the legal mechanisms, because there are a lot of people who are struggling in today's time of not able to find out the correct person as to where to go, how to talk, what to talk, how to get the guidance feedback regarding the cases which the green tribunals at various countries are imposing them with fines with. So, keeping all that in mind, I have done my law. I am still in the final stages of my law, but I have completed my PhD. So, this is my educational background. Let me come to my professional stuff. I am a strategist with various organizations. I have my own organization wherein we guide, consult organizations from and led their journey from decarbonized organizations to a completely sustainable organization. Zero waste, zero water wastage, zero paper wastage, sustainable organizations, sustainable boardrooms are our specializations. We also do a lot of licensing to the various organizations at various levels, which talks about green buildings, green cities, green transportation. Depending upon the kind of organization, we provide the licenses to the companies so that they can carry out their businesses both in India and internationally. So this is the kind of work I do along with Kenyani ma'am has already praised me enough. But along with it, I do give guest lectures at various schools and colleges and hold multiple panel discussions. So this is the kind of work I am doing.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's so nice to have you on the call here, Prachi. And trust me, I'm looking
The
forward to
pleasure is
our
all mine.
discussion because there are so many interesting things that we look forward to share with you and understand from you. So before we head ahead, go forward and ask, my first question
Mhm.
to you is, where did you begin your journey? How did you start? I mean, obviously
On a
you've done
coffee
so many
date.
other things in the past, but what was the trigger point that's made you think that I have to do this in sustainability or towards climate action?
Okay. Please don't laugh on it, but actually it started on a coffee date.
No, 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 I'm not laughing on it, but it's interesting. Please go ahead.
Yeah, having completed my master's and working with various startups at the various levels, I understood one thing that the people who are at the younger level, they're much keen on understanding what zero carbon emission talks about. What does that mean? The problem that they were facing was they did not know what actually the definition means. So the very thought of amalgamating business practices and sustainable development started off much earlier in 2005 and 6 when I
Wow.
finished off with my master's degree and I started off with some startup organizations. So the people there, they were young enough, 20, 25, 30. This was the bracket that they were the owners. They used to many times talk about इसको कैसे करना है, sustainability होता क्या है. I mean, the basic problem many people don't even know what the definition of.
Right,
So this was it started off from that period of time, but since there was no education regarding it back then, there was not much data available. There were not definitions. Yeah, the social media or the internet was also not much filled with this. UN was not there. UNEP was not there. They were there, but they were not printing those many things that the people could understand. Which
right,
way,
right,
which is happening post 2015 Paris Agreement thing. It all started off. I mean, if you see the literature that is available, a lot of it has been uploaded post 2015 when Paris Agreement came into picture,
right,
which is
right,
uh, which is being called as the Bible for climate change enthusiasts. So
right,
you'll be agreeing to this. So
right.
keeping when this was the base. Now I knew the base, but the problem was where do I begin with? This was
Correct.
getting bottled up within me. How should I do? What should I do? Where do I begin? And amongst those was one coffee date with my boyfriend. Asked him, "मैं क्या करूं? What do I do? Where do I do?" And Delhi being so hot and humid, we were like just cribbing about the environment. And it was then he told me, why don't you do something into environment? Why don't you talk about it? I was like, are you gone crazy? I don't even know the difference between the weather and the climate. But he said,
Wow.
no, that was the trigger point. That coffee day turned out to be so much of understanding that I started off with learning what climate means, what weather means, what is the difference between these two, what are the terminologies, and he being so supportive of the entire fact that I was making mistake and he was still motivating me. No problem, do it, do it, do it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That probably the coffee date was the trigger point. So
No,
this is how the journey.
but
Please go ahead.
actually, Prachi, if you see, they say, right, there was an ad about coffee dates stating anything can happen over a
Yeah,
coffee. See, that is, you are living
yeah,
example for it.
yeah.
Anything
It
can happen.
actually started off with a coffee. We were just on a date. I mean, I have no qualms in saying that I am still with that guy, though we are not dating. But still, he is the trigger point to push me into this arena, which is so less
Wonderful.
explored in today's time.
Wonderful, wonderful. I wish all have such kind of friends and support system who will push
Yeah,
us to do something, not just for ourselves, but to
but
the
to the
world
society.
around when the world is literally burning. Amazing,
Yes.
amazing. So, Prachi, you were saying that you started off even before the Paris Agreement, and
Hmm.
after that, lot of things. I'm sure you faced a lot of challenges, and not only that, after the Paris
Hmm.
Agreement happened and India signed, and you started off with your licensing and certification programs for organizations. I'm sure when you took the concept first with people, they would have looked at you as though you are a weird alien from some other planet. Are you
You used
talking
the correct
sense?
word. They told me, have you gone crazy? That
Yeah.
the resistance from, I mean, forget about the organization. I mean, I can put it like when I told my folks back home that I'm doing my PhD in climate change, my father was like, are you all right? Do you even know? I mean, you want to do PhD, do it, but do it in marketing, do it in HR, do something like that. What is this climate change? But dad, this is something which is unexplored. Let's do something which is a tough domain. Why do something which already a million people are already will be part of the herd? I
Correct.
want to carve my own niche. So the what why I narrated this incident is because the resistance from people, forget let alone the organizations, the resistance from people is immense.
Right.
It is now after my PhD that doctor is written in front of my name. My family has started giving attention to the subject that I have done my PhD in.
I can
From the
imagine.
last 3.5, 4 years, they were nodding like she's gone crazy. इसका कुछ नहीं होने वाला.
I can imagine. I
So
can imagine.
it's like that. Now they have been supportive. I will not say that they are not supportive, but to bring this into the notice of people at large is the biggest challenge, and it is practically the first challenge. The
Right.
second challenge that I would like to highlight is the awareness level in terms of providing education.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you personally also, so you and people like Dr. Smita are into a lot of activities that are done at the school levels.
Right.
But I have to confess that they are not sufficient. We have to bring this into the curriculum to make the students understand what this means. Now,
Correct.
just like subjects which is civics, which talks about the civic the democracy of our nation, sustainability, climate change has to peep into from the KG standards, wherein
Right.
children are being told what climate change means when they are at the nursery level. Till
Correct.
the time we do that, it will be a mayhem or a challenge for people like me to make the people aware what the entire spectrum talks about.
Right. Right. I understand.
This is at the personal level. Let's come to the organizational level. The challenges again are immense. Again, the first will be the awareness level.
Right.
However, the amongst the awareness, the biggest challenge is investment into transferring from non-sustainable into a sustainable organization.
Correct.
Anything if you do involves cost, right? So if I say that I can convert your organization into a decarbonized or net zero organization, it definitely will involve certain kind of processes, or probably my consultation fees, or probably the relevant authorities fees, which requires your licenses to be in place to get those kind of numbers in your balance sheets and tell the people at large, hey, we are a carbon free organization. I would like to quote an example here of the body shop. Look at the
Mm-hmm.
kind of advertisement that these people are doing, that they are cruelty free organization. They are not
Correct.
testing their products on animals. So
Correct.
it involves huge cost. Their entire advertising strategy has changed from what it used to be in 2009 to what it is now in 2023, 24, 22, because they are advertising around the fact that we are cruelty free. Of course,
Correct.
it will involve cost, but
Correct.
they are getting the results out of it. So, for the organizations, the problem is that they are not ready to invest. They want the licenses, they want to be called as the green organization, but they don't want to put in the money.
Right.
How is that? Is this possible? If you want to
Right.
have a license, the license will have a fee. You need to renew it. You need to get the agent who is a part of the entire system, get his fees. So if you are getting your memorandum of association, or if you're getting your organization registered in MSME, you are paying the fee. So why
Right.
not getting a fee done when you want to transfer from a carbon emitting organization to a carbon free organization? What is the problem
Correct.
with that?
Correct.
So there is a resistance amongst the organizations. A resistance on the part of the C-suite people is also there. They
Correct.
want to do things, but they do not want to invest time into it. Again, I will be saying you have to learn to implement something in your organization.
Very
It
true.
cannot it cannot happen overnight. I am saying something, I have learned it, I have done it, I am practically implementing it, I have invested my 4 years into it. And only then I am in a position capable enough to talk about it to various peoples at various board levels. Only then, till the time you learn, this is good for my organization, this is good for, say, a transport organization in Delhi will have a different set of understanding vis-a-vis a transport organization sitting in Bangalore,
Correct.
because the conditions in Bangalore are entirely different from what is condition in Delhi.
Right. Right. Totally agree.
So these are the kind of challenges that I face on everyday basis.
Right. I mean, I can imagine because you have to not just cater only to 28 states, you have even the other 9 union territories, and our
Yeah.
geography is amazing. We are blessed with different climate.
The diverse geography comes with the diverse mindsets, and 28 people sitting on board have 28 different set of questions, which practically has one answer.
I understand. I hear you. I relate to you. And I seriously empathize with you because this is something that even I face through my business. So I understand. I totally
Yeah,
understand what you're saying.
yeah.
Now,
I
Prachi,
do.
having said that, with all these challenges, you're moving ahead, and nothing is stopping you from going ahead and achieving the unachievable. I really congratulate you and commendable job you're doing. I really appreciate, and I pray that you will get more success in this
Thank
field
you so
because this
much.
is for the betterment of every one of us.
Yes.
Now, this leads or takes me to the next question, that what are
Mm-hmm.
the kind of steps that you take, or suppose now I as an organization I want a green certification,
Hmm.
or I want guidance as to what I need to do. I'm totally a layman, I know nothing
Hmm.
about climate action. How I can begin? What will your support be in this area?
See, the first step has to be your mindset. You need to be prepared with the fact that I need to decarbonize. I the point is, people, a lot of people come to us stating that we need to decarbonize. When they understand there is a licensing process, there is a regulatory mechanism that you need to follow, they step back. That is the first resistance. So then the second resistance comes with the cost that I've already talked about. So the first step to begin with the decarbonized process is to have the mindset that it will change the entire way of working that you've been in doing for probably, let's say, decades, if not less, or in some cases maybe centuries, if that organization is that old. I would like to highlight startups are more receptive to the idea vis-a-vis the organizations that are more established.
I understand.
Also, organizations that are being run as HUFs, wherein there are fathers, forefathers, grandfathers, they are not receptive to them. I have not met anybody till date who are in an HUF kind of system and they are ready for it. They are not. I mean, I'll give you a very simple example. Government has given a guideline of having 33% representation of the women. One board independent board member has to be a woman. So there was this one organization, I'll not name them. I asked them to put me on board because they wanted to decarbonize themselves, so they wanted a sustainability officer. What I did was, see, it was on a personal level, they were friends. So I said, okay, let me be an independent board member at your place, and I'll be representing the 33%, and your work will be done, and I'll be decarbonizing your organization. So when I suggested, gave them the framework, the entire thing, The first day when I talked about it, they were receptive to the idea. The fifth day when I came up with the idea, I mean, to prepare a board layout to do anything. The fifth day when I came up with the framework, they backed up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the problem is you need to be first of all mentally in reception to the idea, acceptance to the idea that I am decarbonized.
Correct,
Forget about
correct,
rest of the story. If that is not there and you will be resisting at every given step, like I was resisted at the first, so the process went down the drain. What if I do 3 or 4 levels of effort and then you say we are not doing? So why I highlight this, because it is the effort of the other person also which needs to be taken care of. That
true,
you are saying you want to decarbonize, then it is a process. I have a
correct,
team. I have independent contractors who are working with me to decarbonize and organize. When I say I'll give you with a green license, now let me give you an example. A green license is available for making a green product,
correct,
right? Now, how will the product be called as a green product? First of all, the raw material has to be green, which
correct.
means your entire supply chain will has to be taken care of.
Yeah, right,
Secondly, the process has to be clean, correct?
right,
If the
right.
process and the factory within it is manufactured is not clean, then the product cannot be, right?
True,
Thirdly,
true.
the marketing strategy has to be green. It is in a way wherein the marketing practices are such it is not emitting much of carbon footprint.
Hmm, hmm,
So
hmm,
if
hmm.
you say I am not doing the entire process and I'm only focusing on green marketing, then my marketing team would be talking about a strategy wherein it is all about digital marketing, or let's say strategies which are green in nature. We will not be doing, and I'll put an example, as we will not be doing any kind of codings.
Correct.
Coding involves a lot of carbon footprint,
Right, right,
right? This is just a layman example. So
right,
then, when I said it is a process at every stage. You have to point out in millimeters, centimeters, that this is the kind of grams, kilograms, that this is the kind of raw material that is being supplied, and henceforth, now this becomes a green product.
right, right.
So, so once you say that this is, how do you begin? First of all is the mindset, and second is the fact that we need to study your subject first. What is the kind of product you're making? How is it being procured? How is it being marketed? How it is manufactured? If you say the entire process has to be green, then it's a different story. But if you say if only one vertical has to be green, it has to be a different story. So it depends as to the requirement of the organization.
Okay.
There is a furniture company that I provided a license to in Gurgaon, in NCR Delhi. That organization was not having anything with regards to the parameters that were being mentioned in the form of providing them a green certificate. It
Mm-hmm.
took us 8 months to provide all those parameters, get them tested by the organization, and then give them the green license, which again went for a review only because one of the report was still missing.
Right, right,
It is a very, very lengthy and tedious process. We have to take care of every nut and bolt that is being put into the process.
right, right. I agree with you. And it's not an
Yeah.
overnight process like how you go and you apply for MSME or SME
No.
role and you get it within a day or 2 days you get
No.
it's not that way. It's a journey. You begin
It's a
the
journey.
journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the furniture company that I mentioned, it took us 8 months first at the first level to get that license. And after 8 months, 3 days down the line, it again went into the review because one of the form was missing.
Correct, correct,
So 8 months is a fairly long time.
correct.
We are in
Definitely.
it involves a lot of time, it involves a lot of effort, there are a lot of people into it. It is not
Very
a
true,
one-man
very true.
show. It is an army of people.
Very true, very true. I mean, this is something that people have to understand, and those people who
Yes.
are watching us right now, who are trying to understand what exactly we are talking, and just we are just talking about a snippet of how you begin your journey
Yeah.
towards getting a green license or a green certificate for your business, basically. So she's saying that
And
they evaluate the entire process, understand what exactly you want, and guide you and help you accordingly, which is amazing right now. And trust me, all the SMEs who are into manufacturing, chemical companies, and other things, they have a government mandate where they have to submit their quarterly statements stating
Yes.
this is their carbon footprint. For such organizations, your organization definitely is a boon, Prachi. It's like
Thank you so much.
it's like you
Thank you so
guys
much. I
become
hope
angels.
I hope it actually works that way. See, no, it is not about promoting what I work on. I have to make people understand. If you say today, like let's put you and I in the similar picture. Tomorrow morning, if you say, Prachi, I'm going to do this, fine. I'll be doing the process with you, but it is a tedious process.
Right.
We might get exhausted during the journey, but that
Correct.
we are allowed to be. But that
Correct.
does not mean we stop the journey.
Correct.
I
True.
request everyone, do not stop the journey, because that stopping of the journey, once you begin again, you have to start the entire process again. You cannot start from where you left.
Correct. Correct. I understand. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense too, because simple example, you're doing it for, say, a training center. You start from
Hmm.
one point, you start treating, going from with paper to moving to paperless, then
Yeah,
handling simple things like marketing and all, where you're completely doing away with all the banners, hoardings, and anything and everything that creates pollution and increases the
yeah,
carbon footprint. And then you move to the atmosphere. Suddenly they say, no, 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 stop here. Then again, you have to restart. I can imagine that is really, really cumbersome, and it's a repetitive work, which is again time consuming, and it is like, what do you say? You're reinventing the cycle over and over again if you don't take it
yeah.
seriously. I can
Yes,
imagine.
exactly. See, we have to understand, like you mentioned about a training center. Once you are decarbonizing and once you get a certificate, I would like to mention it here. For any green certificate, it has to be renewed as per the requirements of that particular certificate. Some are within a year that it gets to be renewed, some are available for 5 years, some are available for 2.5 years. Now, I have seen one organization again, we got them the certificate, it was available only for a year. So then after that, the organization were not allowing them to use the green certificate. They came to us running that you fooled us. We never fooled you. We told you this is for where, and everything is documented, right? We document everything, whatever the conversation we are doing, it is getting documented. Like every Zoom call is being recorded, everything, so that we can put this in notice of the person that no, we told you that this certification is available only for 1 year.
Right.
So if it is available for 1 year, and if you have like, let's take MSMEs registration. These registrations are required to be renewed as per the requirements of the industry standards in various states and cities. I am not
Correct.
generalizing whether it is pan India or what. Let's put it. I mean, I'm not much aware of the MSME rules, so I'm not commenting about it. So I will just to make the people understand, if you are in an MSME and there is certain kind of specification which is very peculiar, so
Right.
any peculiarity has to be renewed within a speculated period of time. So if you as an MSME are ready to do it, as a green organization, why are you not ready to do it?
Right.
It is
Right.
just a similar thing.
Right.
Renewals are as much a part of turning into a green organization.
Correct. Correct.
It is providing you the license to do your business under the green sector, uh, all through the year, all through the decade, as the case may be.
Correct. Correct. True. 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 So that's wonderful, Prachi. Now, this leads to my next question. I know we are coming to the fag end of our discussion, last few minutes left over, but time is going and I didn't even realize. So nice. I'm really enjoying this. So, Prachi, I
Now,
want to understand what are the other services you provide in your organization? And those people who are watching here, I just want to tell you all the details about Dr. Prachi, her social media handles, her organization details, and how you will be able to reach out to her. All it's mentioned below in the comment section here. Please feel free to reach out to her directly, or you comment with us and we will get in touch, connect you to her, and we can pick it up. So over to Prachi, please let us know.
Other services would be the legal compliances apart from the certifications. Now, what do I mean by legal compliances? We know about green tribunals, we all do. So the green tribunals provide slap the organization with hefty fines of not commenting, not what do you say, collaborating in terms of the norms that the industry has vis-a-vis the green standards. So we do provide those kind of help. The legal cases are also being fought by us. I myself am a lawyer, and I do have people who are lawyers in this respect. First of all, the process, let alone being going to the court, the paperwork is hefty.
Right,
It is
right.
a very hefty process. So we do guide people in the paper. A lot of people. A lot of people. I know certain lawyers also who talk about like you please do our paperwork as well, because it's
Correct.
a very hefty one. So
Right, right.
once you talk about it, this is this my specialty. Okay, court cases are there, but first of all, if your paperwork is not in place, and I can guarantee green
Right,
tribunal papers and all those kind of cases have a different set of paperwork with the other cases have.
right, right,
So my team works a lot extensively on putting all the papers in,
right,
because once your papers are in place and you figure out the discrepancy, half of the battle, more than half of the battle is.
right, 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 right. No,
So
I agree
this
with
is
you because this all holds a lot of weightage, and every paper, every document you submit matters, and the
yes,
content inside that matters. And above all this forms the basis for the next year's evaluation and further year's activities. This forms the basis for the investment. This forms the
yeah,
basis for the growth of business. So
yeah.
it is literally say
It is all
organization
integrated.
crux, one of the crux
Yeah,
materials of the
yeah,
organization. So
yeah.
amazing.
See, it again. I have to put it. It is a lot of tedious process. It is a lengthy, time-consuming, and a tedious process. Like for example, I know one organization. They had some hefty fine being imposed on them, and they were very worried that kitna paisa hame dena padega, then the profit is gone for the year. So what we did was we gave them with all the papers. We told them this document is required. Oh, this is the while we were compiling all the documents, we found out where the discrepancy was. And that while we were compiling those papers and while we were about to present our case, and noticed and agreed with the fact that that paper needs to be that discrepancy is there. The court itself settled down the case beforehand. There was no legal case run.
Wow, that's awesome.
So you need to figure out.
Right,
I
right,
mean, it
right,
is
right.
so yeah. This is what we do. Along with that, I give a lot of guest lectures, lectures in colleges, guest lectures, panel discussions, interviews to you, ma'am.
Thank you so
So I
much,
do.
Prachi. And I'm sure there'll be a whole lot of people who will be approaching you after this session. Of course,
I
I
hope
will
so
also
too.
be recommending you where you can share what you're doing because this really matters. And with the
Hmm.
way we are moving and the trajectory of our movement, it clearly indicates you want to do business, you better have your license, you better have your
And the green
certificates.
logo in your organization.
Yeah, otherwise, get ready to pay your carbon tax because this was a
Yes,
recent update
yes.
that I got that COP28 is going to decide on carbon tax.
You and I discussed about it much earlier. I told you it's gonna come in place.
Yes. So now it is happening. I mean, we discussed
Yeah,
two
yeah,
years ago, but now it is
yeah, yeah,
happening. So it's an
yeah. I think
exciting
it
phase.
is so evident that it is coming. India might be hosting COP also. I guess it's COP 30 probably India is hosting.
Yes, yes,
And by that time, we'll be having carbon tax at the national and international levels. So
definitely.
organizations that are exporting will be paying the tax dual times if they are not green licensing holder.
Right, right. So it's high time people understand. So any last few words, Prachi, before we come to the end of the discussion?
Just one thing, be sustainable, be green, and this is the only place that we have. We do not have any other planet. If at all we go to moon, we have to have the oxygen masses. We cannot live with that. So let's save this for us, more than us, more than ourselves, for our children, because they'll be the sufferers, not us. We'll go. So let us save us
Wonderful.
together.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
I
you.
love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Prachi. And Prachi, trust me, you're doing amazing work. Maybe it sounds like you're charging so much. This could be this is expensive, but no, 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 no. People have to realize it is must. If we go to a doctor and the doctor say a surgery is must, do we sit and bargain at that time? Definitely not
No, we
today.
don't even think about it. Walk.
Exactly. This is the time where we have to go about getting things right, started. You need help, you need guidance. You have people like Prachi who are here. Reach out to her and begin your journey towards decarbonization. Learn from experts like Prachi who not only have the hands on experience, but even the theoretical knowledge and who is sharing this in practice, living it and showing it by example, by her life, through her life. So amazing,
Thank
Prachi.
you.
Thank you so much for your time.